Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Bookmas Day 12. I cannot believe I'm uttering those words. Today is officially the last day of Bookmas for me. Like I've said before, and I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, this has been such a challenge for me. It's a little bit bittersweet that it's over. On one hand, I've really enjoyed doing this and planning this out and making all the videos and editing and all that good stuff. But also I'm very excited to have some time to read a book. I haven't even finished a book in the first week and a half of December because I've just been so busy with these videos and filming all the content for you guys. And I'm trying to meet my goals before the year is over, which brings us into the theme of today's video, because today we're going to be creating my 2025 reading goals for the next year. Now, like I said, I am trying to complete my reading goal this month. I need 10 more books to finish my reading goal for this year, which I think I can do. But typically every year I only set like a amount of books that I want to read every year for my goal. But today I actually have 7 goals that I want to meet by the end of next year. So sit down, grab a snack, grab a drink, and then let's chat together about some of these reading goals for the new year. So like I just said, I normally only do like a numbered amount of books that I want to read in a year. So we're starting off with my first goal, and that is to read 60 books in 2025. This year my goal was 40 books, which I do believe I will meet by the end of the year. Check back in on this, but I don't really know. I think I will be able to. But I'm doing 60 because that's about a book a week. It's 8 more than a book a week, which I think I can definitely do, especially if I'm throwing in like novellas and stuff and audiobooks. So I definitely think I can do it. Unfortunately, I have a debilitating need to go on TikTok all the time. So I feel like if I start swapping out my screen time for reading, I can definitely meet that goal. My second goal is to branch out and to try at least one new genre. So for me, I'm pretty much a romance, fantasy, thriller girl. I don't really venture out much like past that. I'll read a fiction book sometimes, but I would really like to try a new genre that like I'm not that familiar with. Maybe that's like a graphic novel, maybe that's historical fiction. I don't know, maybe that's self-help. Like, I'm not really sure. I'm not gonna put stress on it right now. I just know that I at least want to read one book that is outside of my comfort zone, because I feel like I want to have a more well-rounded knowledge of books. And that's kind of hard to do when I'm only reading romance or fantasy or thrillers. Like, yes, they're good and I enjoy reading them. But I know that I'll enjoy some other genres out there that I'm like a little bit scared to touch or think I won't like. So I definitely want to give like a new genre a chance this year. My third reading goal is to read 5 nonfiction books in 2025. You get it? Like, we're doing the rule of 5s today. This year I only read one nonfiction book, and it was the Finding Me memoir by Viola Davis. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I listened to the audiobook, and I typically like to do that when they're memoirs, if they're the one reading it, because it feels like you can connect on a deeper level. But I really enjoyed this book. It's stuck with me since I've read it. I think I read it in January and it's December, and it's still stuck with me. And so I feel like I said in the last point, I just want to like more well round out my knowledge of books. And so I feel like with that comes reading more nonfiction, which is not my favorite. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I always pick up a nonfiction book, but I feel like only reading one in a year is kind of crazy. Like, I feel like, I don't know why I feel like I can't call myself a reader if I don't read nonfiction, which it's not true. That's not true, by the way. My next goal, kind of along the same lines as that, is to read 5 classics next year. I haven't really touched a classic since like my AP English classes in high school. I know I've read like Sula, I've read Jane Eyre, but I would like to get to more books. I would even also really like to reread Jane Eyre. I actually have it, and I think I would enjoy it a little bit more now that the pressure's off. I know I have a few on my TBR. I have Little Women, I have The Picture of Dorian Gray, so I feel like these are just great starts for me. Honestly, when I was in English class, I did enjoy reading classics. It's something that I like to do. I feel like since I was so pressured to read them in English class, I never touched them again since graduating. So I definitely want to try again. I know there's some really great ones out there, so if you have a classic that you love, please let me know, because I have to read 5. So yeah. Alrighty, my 5th goal is kind of a big one for me, and this one I feel like is gonna be very hard, so you guys have to hold me accountable. But my 5th goal is to complete all the series that I'm started or in the middle of before buying or starting a new series. So some of the series that I'm in the middle of is a reread of ACOTAR. I've literally never finished the Addicted series. What else? I've never finished the Chestnut Springs series. Like, there are so many that I have not finished. Oh, Iron Flame. Like, I'm literally like not okay. I keep picking up new series and then just completely forgetting about them. So my goal is to finish the series, or if I'm gonna not finish them, if I'm gonna DNF them, that's okay. But I cannot buy any more series until I finish all of the series that I'm in the middle of. I don't know why, but this one is kind of important to me because I feel like I literally am like a serial series starter. Like, I'm always starting a new series and then I just forget about it. You know what I mean? And I know that most of the time, like, the series gets better as they go. So I need to finish them before I buy any more, especially because series can get expensive. And if I'm buying them all the time and not even reading them, it just feels like a waste. My 6th reading goal is more of a personal one for me, and that is to reread a childhood favorite. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna read yet. I have an idea. There was this one book that I picked up, I think in middle school, on like the free library shelf that one of my teachers had. I don't know why I picked it up. I don't know what drew me to it, but that book was like what really sparked my love for reading. Like, when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, it was like really weird to be like the reader. Like, you were a nerd, you were super weird if you read a book, unfortunately, which is not true, by the way. But in my little 5th grade mind, I was like, I don't want to read a book because people are gonna make fun of me. But when I picked up this book, it's called Escape Under the Forever Sky. I think it's called, that, and I'll put it here for you guys. And I remember literally devouring this book. I loved it, and so I would really, really love to go back and maybe reread that one, maybe a different one. I don't know which one I'll pick. I don't want to like set it in stone right now, but I want to be able to reread a book that really sparked my interest for reading, to kind of like compare and contrast. I feel like obviously I'm much, much older than I was when I was in 5th grade, and so I would just really love to kind of put myself back into my little middle school self and reread that book and just kind of like feel all the feels again. Maybe that stems from something greater, like wanting to be a child again. I don't know. But I definitely want to reread at least one of my childhood favorites. I think it could be a fun little journey and to see how far I've come. Alrighty, my last and final goal before we wrap this video up is to start a reading journal, whether that is a physical reading journal or like a digital reading journal. I also want to keep track of them in a more in-depth way. I feel like by the time I'm ready to film a sit down for you guys, like whether it's a wrap up or whatever, I genuinely forget what the books are about, like as soon as I read them. I don't know what that says about me. Like, I promise I'm reading these books. I feel like when I go back and edit the videos, I'm like, what was I even on about? That's just like not what really happened. Like, it just is very vague. And so I want to start a reading journal to keep track of not only these goals, but also like my readings and my reviews, because I feel like I can kind of get lost in between each book. Like, genuinely, as soon as I finish a book, I forget what it's about. And so then when we're doing like my monthly wrap-ups or whatever, like I said, I genuinely feel like I cannot explain it to you guys in the way that I would love to explain it to you guys. And like, I also don't want to be like bridge on spoilers. And so I feel like a reading journal is just a great place to kind of like brain dump as soon as I finish a book or while I'm in the middle of a book. But like I said, for some reason, it just goes in one ear and out the other. Like, even like my 5-star reads, I'm just like, I don't know how to explain this to you guys. Like, when I was explaining ACOTAR to like someone who's never read ACOTAR before, I was just like, yeah, it's about fairies. Like, I don't know. Like, I've read it twice and I still couldn't tell you what it's about. You know what I mean? So that is a huge goal that I have, and I want to hold myself accountable to it, because every time I get like a planner or whenever I start like a Notion and I get it all like done and ready, I genuinely never follow through with those things. I'll buy them and spend a lot of money on them, and then I'm not using them after the first month. So I want to hold myself accountable. I would like to do like a physical one and make it pretty. I feel like that's another like hobby that I can have, like kind of like scrapbooking, like book journal. I feel like that's another hobby that I can have outside of TikTok, because a personal goal that I have for next year is to not be on my phone so much. I feel like I live and breathe my phone and I don't want that for myself. So I just like want to pick up new hobbies and stuff like that. So I feel like a scrapbooking like book journal could be really like therapeutic for me. Alrighty guys, unfortunately I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I'm a little bit sad to finish the last Bookmas video, but I'm gonna have some more videos coming out in the month of December. They're just gonna be a lot more spread out. I think I want to do like a 24-hour readathon to try and get through those 10 books that I was talking to you guys about. So go ahead and subscribe down below so you don't miss that. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be festive. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck around through all 12 days of Bookmas, thank you so much. If you're new here, if this is your first day of Bookmas, thank you also. Go ahead and go back and watch all my other Bookmas videos. I have 12 of them. So yeah, thank you guys so much and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.